Hello everyone. I am so sorry I have no voice. I'm sick. But my name is Rocket, and I am going to give you a director's commentary on the Dempsey Hill music video. It's a weird piece, I know. Oh, my voice sounds so bad. Just bear with me and this ugly, beautiful voice of mine, and I'll give you the full explanation. First question, what is with the nudity? Okay, so here's how it works. I am an artist, and one of the projects that I'm working on is basically reimagining the full breadth of masculinity. So I'm stripping it down and disassembling masculinity and rebuilding it. And the thought behind that is I'm really interested in what makes a man. Like, is it physical body parts, or is it actually something more spiritual? My answer is something more spiritual. But in exploring this, basically I've been shooting these nudes. It's a series called King of Lovetown, and you can see more on my Instagram and also my YouTube, where basically I am declaring myself the king of Lovetown, the king of my own universe, and saying that no matter what other people think about me in my life, I am the sole individual responsible for the way that I see myself. Just owning your actions and owning the actor requires you to own identity. This sort of act of getting naked is really figuratively and literally bearing all, and sort of saying, when you break it all down and enter the world innocent again, like a baby, naked, what is that? What are you and who are you? And then how do you build up from there? I basically told David that I wanted the main character to be naked, and I thought that as a collaboration between the two of us, it would make sense that I played it naked, given my other work. Also, this photo right here is something that David let me shoot in his backyard. So he's known about this project and been on board with that and supportive of it for a while. So I thought it'd be cool to bring this element in. This leads into the second question. What is with the costumes? Basically, the story of Dempsey Hill is David, or the protagonist, goes on a date in Singapore. They have this lovely time, and then he flies back to LA and he meets a new girl at a new bar, and she wants to go home with him, but he doesn't want to because he misses the first girl. Now, in the era of Me Too and this beautiful feminist rise, which I think is amazing, I really wanted to avoid any questions about, oh, is it because the first girl is Asian and the second girl is white? Or, oh, is it because the first girl is tall and the second girl is small? Basically, to me, love and attraction is not something superficial. It is something much more deep. It's something spiritual, something you connect on that is intangible. And so I wanted to use the same woman and just portray that it's a different person through costume. So you may not know this, but this girl, this pretty little girl here in the dinosaur suit, oh, hello, that is my girlfriend. Her name is Danielle. I call her Danny or Dan. And I thought that given that I am playing the protagonist, it made sense to use my girlfriend as the counterpart, the love interest, and then also her being the same girl or same actress in both bars, just wearing a different costume. I thought that was quite fitting and beautiful. I want to add that this whole thing, if you don't know what surrealism is, I encourage you to check it out. But surrealism is an art movement that started in the 1900s, and it's something that I am very drawn to. It's sort of juxtaposition of different realities and dream states together in sort of a mashup. It's about challenging stereotype and cultural convention and saying that why can't these things exist? And it is a little bit dreamlike. And so when you see these two characters, this naked guy and this dinosaur girl, and they're out there on the beach and they're really connecting in this beautiful way, it's not about the external trappings of clothing or time period or anything like that. It's literally just, hey, we're on the same wavelength and connecting. So I think that to me, love, the attraction should transcend all realities, whether it is a traditional Singapore situation or something more like this. Location! If you are wondering why all of a sudden I'm in different clothes and the background changed, it's because I forgot to film this the first time, so I'm just editing this right in. The location of this music video is basically, if you look carefully, it's the same bar shot from the same angles, just dressed and colored differently. And the idea behind that is that basically I wanted this journey, this love journey and this reverie, this memory to be something that is much more metaphysical in your mind than it is something about like the actual locations. So it's the same thing with using the same woman in both costumes. The location's the same because it's just holding that constant and making like sort of like demonstrating how memory gets a little bit blurred inside. And so I wanted that really nice crossfade where literally we're holding everything constant, the space and the woman, except changing the costume and that emotional tone. And shout out to Vacation Bar in Santa Ana for letting us use their space on such short notice. Beautiful place, really great to film there, and really appreciated that. Okay, I know another question I'm gonna get a lot of is what the hell is up with the necklace / tooth? The necklace is actually, it was actually an idea brought to me by my brother. He said that he thought that would be a really great idea to have this token that is exchanged between the two characters and something that maybe the protagonist could carry back to LA with him. And so I love this idea, and actually the original idea was to get like a shark tooth kind of necklace, like a dinosaur tooth, you know, something like that. But I couldn't find one, and then I walked into this random store and I found this necklace, and I thought, perfect. I actually like that it looks like a tooth, but it's not a tooth, it's a casting. And so I like that it is a metaphor of a tooth for a metaphorical dinosaur, and it's just layers and layers on metaphors. And I think that it just fit really perfectly. When we got to shooting, we thought, well, it could be cute to have the dinosaur paw hand it to the protagonist just hand in hand, but I felt like we had played out, like you got to see the dinosaur feet walking, you got to see the dinosaur tail wagging, and you saw the dinosaur paw already. So I thought, you know, we've already played out this joke, this humorous aspect, and I think it was David that was like, why don't you guys hand it off in a kiss? So I thought that was a great idea, and just part of that collaborative process, we ended up going with it, and it does look totally weird, but it's so great that it is a dinosaur tooth coming out of her mouth, as if like maybe this dinosaur is capable of just dislodging its teeth and passing you one, just like lizards can do that with their tails. Again, goes back to that surrealist challenge of convention, is just to say, is it a real tooth, is it a fake tooth, all that stuff, but it's just playful. And I think that to me is really was great. Next up, the theme of this video. Basically, you know, David's music is really great, but for me, I find sometimes it can be a little bit too sappy. That's for my own personal taste. Great musician, great friend of mine, 100%. Not trying to knock him at all. I'm just saying that when I listen to this song, it's so romantic that I felt like if I did a literal interpretation of this video, it would be too cheesy. You can literally think about it in very, very tangible terms. And then I just thought, who wants to watch that video? It's been done. I thought, what is a way that I could spin this to incorporate, again, my style, which is this sort of exploration and reimagination of masculinity and human identity, as well as my desire to constantly challenge convention, and then put that in the context of this really beautiful love song, where you sort of take something sort of almost absurdist and box it into something almost cliche, and then you say, how can we blend this in a way that like works beautifully? And so that's what we tried to do here. Okay, the last question that I'm going to answer that I think will sort of tie this up nicely is, how did this all happen? And so the story behind this is basically, I met David about a year ago through a mutual friend, and immediately I was like, I love this guy. You can sense that he has like really, really kind heart, and he's such a genuine person, and I really was drawn to that. And as someone who talks really fast and is really intense and we're always skipping around and blah, 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 I'm really drawn to calm, balancing personalities like David's. Spring of 2018, we were at a bar drinking, getting all drunk on. I just said to him, hey, I'd love to do a music video for you. I thought David was gonna be like, oh, and then brush it off. But in fact, he was like really supportive and kind of like enthusiastic from the start. So the only reason why this video ended up taking so long was not because I was trying to convince David, but it was actually because as an artist, I'm just a disorganized person. I remember there was a meeting that David and I had in, gosh, it must have been April or May 2018. And I said, all right, cool, let's film this in June. And he was really waiting for me to take the lead on it. And then I just dragged ass and procrastinated. And we didn't get around to filming until November 2018. Okay, there's two other things I want to add real quick. The first one is I want to shout out to Dan Chun. He's a really good friend of David's, and he and I sat down, we were shooting photos together, and actually he said, tell me about this Dempsey Hill video. Originally I was going to shoot this video on an iPhone because I wanted to keep the budget really low, and then I also thought like it could be really kind of cool to just experiment with shooting on like an iPhone X. And Dan said, listen, don't do that because David hasn't released a video in a while, and he said if you shoot it on an iPhone, it's going to look like it's on an iPhone, even if it looks really nice. The danger is that a lot of people are going to watch this and think that they shot, they being us, we shot on an iPhone because we had to. Like, we couldn't afford a camera. We didn't know what we were doing otherwise. And he said, that's not the impression you want to give. He said, you're already pushing the limit with the storyline and with your characters and the look, and you don't need to do that with the production as well. So he said, make sure you go and you actually take the production to a cinematic level and really, really push that so it looks good. And that way when your story comes out kind of absurdist, it really can, you give the audience space to accept that cinematic quality and then take in that absurd reality for what it is. So I just want to thank Dan for that suggestion because I obviously took it, and I think the video is so much better for that. All right, well, that's it. Sorry again, I have no voice and I'm coughing like a motherfucker. And listen, my name is Rocket. This is my channel, Lovetown Rocket. You can follow me here on YouTube. That'd be much appreciated if you subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'm typically more active over there. Same thing, Lovetown Rocket. If you are wondering why I'm filming in the front seat of a car, this is a Tesla Model X. That is integral to my life, and I will tell you in another commentary, the commentary of the commentary, something like that. There'll be more videos. For now, I hope you appreciated or enjoyed that Dempsey Hill video. I hope this video has given you a little bit more context and answered some of your questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me via Insta or YouTube, but probably Insta. Thank you so much for watching, and all praise to David Choi for being the absolute man and giving me this chance to make all this stuff. So it's been a really wonderful, amazing collaborative process. Could not be happier as an artist with the finished product. So hope you all enjoy that. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the flip.